Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. Yeah, shout out to you, Torian. You got good you got good taste in instrumentals. What's good when we got everybody in the building? Shout out to y'all. Hopefully everybody got a chance to watch that last stream. If you guys have not, you can watch the buck dancing performance that Stephen A. Smith put on for free. It was very interesting and embarrassing for him and him only, because for one, he looked very off balance, as lopsided as his head is. But in addition to that, just the things that he were saying were very Biden-like with their detachment from reality. So it's a really good watch. You guys should go check it out. Shout out to everybody for being here. I appreciate you guys. Good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody in the building. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Carla. Shout out to my man Torian. Shout out to Carlton. Yeah, I got to agree with Carlton. People are fake offended by black jobs. Absolutely. Shout out to my man PD that remains. Shout out to DeAndre. Make sure you guys throw some like enforcers in the chat for DeAndre. And please do exactly like he said. Hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a channel member. Absolutely. Shout out to my man John Guillory. Shout out to Tricky Nick. Good to see you as always, bro. Shout out to David Brown. Shout out to my man Mike Mellis John. All right. It's good to see everybody in the building. All right. So before we get into more of a deep dive into the quote unquote black jobs comments, we're going to talk about some things that were deemed misinformation earlier in the year that, interestingly, like a lot of the recent misinformation, have come to fruition. They've come to fruition. Okay. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the poll effects that the debate had on Biden. Now, when it comes to the approval rating, what has Biden's approval rating been looking like? I don't know how the post-debate polling is going to help with those approval ratings. As a matter of fact, I think that very few people approve of Biden's debate performance. You know what I'm saying? We're going to check this out, because what's interesting about this is that when we were talking about this earlier in the year, and I don't know if anybody has gotten a chance to watch any of the streams that I've done all the way through, but I invite you, please watch all of the streams all the way through. You will see cards that pop up in the right-hand corner. Click on those cards as you're watching the stream, and those cards will show the receipts of when we visited these topics earlier in the year, some of them as far back as last year, where we're literally saying these things, and the same people who are saying that we were misinformation are now saying the same things that we're saying and acting like they're the ones that brought this stuff to the forefront. How could they have possibly brought this stuff to the forefront when they were saying that it was misinformation earlier in the year? Appreciate you, DeAndre. You know what I'm saying? Now, for whatever reason, if you go on social media, go on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, there's actually a debate going on about who won the debate, right? Who won the debate? I don't know how that's even up for discussion, but I'm going to leave you guys with this. There was a debate. That debate had two parties. At the end of the day, one individual has not been called by his supporters to drop out of the race. The other, based on the debate performance, has been called to drop out of the race by his supporters. If your debate performance leaves your supporters saying, just give up now, who won the debate? That's my question for you guys.
All right, let's now take a look at what the public opinion polling is telling us since Thursday's debate. NBC News' Steve Kornacki's at the big board. So, Steve, don't have a lot of data yet, but we do have some new numbers from the CBS YouGov poll over the weekend. This is just an immediate snapshot following the debate, but what does it tell us?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's waiting for sort of the definitive poll to come out. We don't have that yet, but we've had a couple now. There's another one this morning that looks very similar to what I'm going to show you from this CBS YouGov poll. And they asked a couple questions here. Let's show you this first of all. They asked a general question. Should Biden, this is just in general, should he be running for president? They've asked that throughout the year. Back in February, 37% of voters said that Biden should be running for president. Now, right after the debate, they have that number dropping.
Now, this is back in February, people. Back in February, people were saying that he shouldn't be running. Look at this. Now, where was this poll back in February? Shout out to Deneen. Where was this poll at back in February? So back in February, 63% of people said that Joe Biden should not be running. After the debate, 72% of people are saying that Joe Biden shouldn't be running. With all these people who are saying that Joe Biden shouldn't be running, you got to extend the question and ask, well, if they don't think that he should be running, who's actually going to vote for him? There was some individual that said earlier, according to a radio show host, that they're going to vote for Biden regardless of if they have to wheel him to the podium in a casket. They didn't necessarily say that. They said a wheelchair or a walker or something like that. Shout out to DSB. Right. We were saying he shouldn't be running back in 2020. Look at this, y'all. Now, mind you, this is on one of the networks who says that the type of information that we talk about is disinformation. And look at the information that they're presenting. How can they be trusted is my question. I'll provide receipts of all of the claims that I've ever read that'll pop up in related videos that you can go back and watch my take on these things. These polling numbers are not consistent with the way that NBC has been trying to sell Joe Biden up until this point. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down.
To just 28%. By comparison, they asked the same question about Donald Trump post-debate. The number is 46%. Now, more specifically, in response to the debate, they asked this: what should Biden do right now in the wake of this debate? And in this
now, where's the poll that said should Trump run? Do you guys see how he skipped right over that? See, in February, the 37% said that Biden should be running. 63% said that he shouldn't. After the debate, 28% said that he shouldn't be running, right? Said that he should be running, and 72% said that he shouldn't be. So the shouldn't be running percentage increased after the debate. All they did was put Trump right here and didn't put a date, or they didn't put a past statistic. Now, here's my question. Why would they leave out that information?
Response to the debate, they asked this: what should Biden do right now in the wake of this debate? And in this CBS poll, 64%, basically 2/3 of the electorate, said he should step aside. And I think what's particularly troubling for Biden in that number, not just the fact that it's 2/3, is look at within his own party. This isn't just his political opponents saying he should get out of the race. This is worry within his own party.
How can you look at videos on a YouTube channel like mine and have the nerve to form your mouth to say that we are misinforming people? How can you do that? How can someone honestly do that? Why am I harping on this misinformation thing? I'm harping on this misinformation thing because I'm showing you guys people that have a much larger budget and a much larger amount of assets at their availability to provide the best quality news, journalism, and content to you that they can. And the content that I have, that I provide you guys from a spare room at the crib is historically far more accurate. What does that tell you guys? What does that tell you guys? Do you guys think that as a result of that observation, maybe that could have an impact on why many people are misinformed and do what seems to be voting against their interest? If you think that that's a factor in that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that that's a factor in that, then give me a thumbs down.
Concern within his own party. 45% of Democrats saying that Biden should step aside. And obviously that performance, I think, just reinforcing and maybe even increasing in terms of its potency, the main concern, or one of the main concerns we've seen over and over when it comes to Biden, and that is his age. This is a Gallup poll just before the debate. And already going into the debate, 67% of voters said they considered Biden too old to be president.
Now, again, why haven't they talked about these polls before the debate? Yeah, facts. Shout out to Carlton. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Carlton says, it tells me you don't need fancy stuff to speak the truth. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree 110%. Shout out to you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you're new and you have not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel. And if you have not shared the stream to your social media, please take a moment, share the stream to your social media.
That's 30 points higher than the number for Donald Trump. And just take a look at the other oldest nominees in history. John McCain in 2008, Dole 96, Reagan in both of his campaigns. The number was somewhere in the 30s, even the 20s for Reagan. That Biden number is a number we've never seen for any candidate before. And I will say,
the number that we've seen for Biden is a number that we've never seen before. Biden's historic presidency.
as we wait for definitive polling, we do have one poll that is now asked the horse race question after the debate, asking Biden versus Trump after the debate, who are you for? It's just from one state. It's from New Hampshire. But in that New Hampshire poll, this is out just a couple minutes ago, Trump leads by 2 points in the new New Hampshire poll. If you can read my writing, Trump plus 2.
Shout out to David Brown. It gets to a point where you're literally just doing the same video over and 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 over again. It literally gets to the point where you just do the same video over and over and over and over and over again.
And the critical thing there is in 2020, Biden carried New Hampshire by 7.5 points. So we don't have a pre-debate poll from St. Anselm was the pollster here. Their last one had been in December. They had Biden up 10 then. This is their first poll since December. But at least compared to the 2020 result in New Hampshire, their poll just after this debate is a pretty big shift.
Yeah, that's certainly a warning sign for the Biden campaign. So, Steve, what about the alternatives? What do we know about feelings for Vice President Kamala Harris?
Now, do you guys remember when people were saying the idea was to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in office, and then they were going to do the pivot and Kamala Harris would be the president? Do you guys remember when that conspiracy theory at the time was going around and people were saying that it was misinformation and a conspiracy theory? Where are we today? Where are we today? It is amazing.
Just heard, Mike taking you through all of the sort of political machinations that are involved there. But here's the dilemma for Democrats. You could just see it in the numbers. Take the basic question. It's a good measure of every politician: favorable, unfavorable. 2 recent polls asked it about Joe Biden. You can see here he was 39 favorable, 58 favorable. This is about a week ago. About 2 weeks ago, 44, 56 in Fox. These are not good numbers. But they asked the same question in these same polls about Kamala Harris. These numbers aren't even, aren't better. In fact, they're a little bit worse. Her favorable 37 in the same poll where Biden.
Now, again, mind you, this is a liberal media channel. This is a liberal media channel. Are they telling us something that we don't know?
Biden's is 39, 41 in the same poll where it's 44. And with what Mike just told you there, that's a huge consideration, or it probably is for Democrats, because if you do say Biden is very weak, got to get him out, got to get somebody else in. If Kamala Harris is likely to be that nominee, Democrats have to ask themselves, is that really going to enhance their political positioning?
Look at those numbers. I think that's an obvious question. If Kamala Harris is scoring worse than Biden, I don't know how swapping Biden with her is going to help anything. I'd assume that the idea would be to swap Biden with someone that has a higher favorability than he does. Kamala Harris has a worse favorability than he does. However, if they swap with anybody other than Kamala Harris, they're going to lose all of that campaign fund money. So Kamala Harris, for the most part, is locked in if this is something that actually ends up going down. Oh, man. How do you... Let me ask you guys this. When it comes to the Democrats, how did they screw this up so bad? What were they doing for the entire 4 years that Biden was in office? Like, literally, what went on? What went on? Yeah, facts. If you guys agree with DeAndre, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with DeAndre, give me a thumbs down. DeAndre says the jig is up. CNN can't lie for him anymore. The veil was lifted. Can't tell people they didn't see what they saw. Now, they'll still try to, right? They'll still try to tell you that you saw something different, right? And then they'll try to tell you that if you say what you saw, then what you're saying is misinformation. But at this point, these things have been exposed to the entire world. You know what I'm saying? These things have been exposed to the entire world. You know what I mean?
Okay, Steve Kornacki, thanks for breaking it down for us, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
All right, so there's that. All right, so we're going to look at another video, right? Now, this is a video that is from the Wall Street Journal. And I guess the Wall Street Journal did a poll and is going to break down exactly how much the debate performance or lack of performance hurt Joe Biden. All right. Now, again, I don't know what to say. I honestly, what we can see quantified is that at the very least, it hurt him by 10 percentage points. But if you ask me, again, I've been saying how horrible he's doing, right? And it's not an exaggeration. Yeah, facts. Shout out to DSB. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's big facts. And what's interesting about that, do you guys notice how MSNBC, NBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, none of them ever talk about that? He made Kamala his VP to pander to black people when she doesn't even identify as black. She ran against him and called him a racist. So now all of a sudden, somehow he's not a racist and she's happy to work with him. Make it make sense.
After her disastrous performance in the first debate.
More Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Oh, man, it's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
After a disastrous performance in the first debate.
More Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Oh, shout out to Alonda. Alonda said, I just walked out of a bar just now and a white female stud with a rainbow shirt just called a black brother the N-word. Not surprising. Not surprising. What did he do? Hopefully he defended himself. But you gotta even be careful about that, because if he defends himself, then the police will be all over him for simply defending himself. You know what I'm saying? There go that LGBTQ alliance. Man, oh man. And Trump just gonna sit there and roast you to your face. You know what I'm saying?
After a disastrous performance in the first debate,
More Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said.
Alonda said, Rob, she said it in front of her two black female friends, and her black female friends didn't say nothing because they agree with her. They agree with her. I hate to say this. I'm so not surprised. I'm so not surprised.
Said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
President Biden has fallen behind former President Donald Trump by 6 points. That's the widest lead in Wall Street Journal polling since 2021.
Both parties were looking to this debate as a way to jolt voters, and Joe Biden came out on the wrong side of that.
As the White House and Biden campaign scramble to contain the fallout.
Yeah, that's gonna end bad. That's gonna end one of that's gonna end one of two ways. That's gonna end with either the brother going to jail or the brother going home with all three of them. I don't know if I don't know which one is a worse situation. I don't know which one is a worse situation. He better just get out of there.
Here are the major takeaways from the Wall Street Journal's post-debate poll.
It was a performance that was very uneven, and importantly, it was pretty uneven right from the start. He had difficulty finishing his sentence occasionally.
Look, if finally beat Medicare.
He was really fighting it. He was really struggling to get that sentence out. Right. Shout out to DC Precise. Who do y'all feel more safe with, them three ladies or a bear? Who do y'all think is more safe, them three ladies or the bear?
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Post-debate, confidence in Biden's ability to lead fell. 80% of voters say the 81-year-old is too old to run for re-election, compared to 73% of voters in February.
Many Democratic voters in polls and strategists have said for a while that Joe Biden's biggest vulnerability in this election was how his age was perceived by the public. So the fact that our poll found that more voters think he's too old to be president.
Okay, now let me ask you guys this. This is so funny, man. This is so funny and redundant, but we got to do it anyway. Do you all feel that the public perception of Joe Biden's intelligence or capability, do you all feel that the public's perception is accurate? If you feel that the public's perception of Joe Biden's intelligence is accurate, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me the thumbs down. We got another face. We got another face. You know what I'm saying?
After the debate and before the debate shows that he was really weakened by it.
And Democrats are especially worried. While voters have said they don't like either candidate, about 2/3 of Democrats want to replace Biden on the ballot, more than the number of Republicans who want to replace Trump.
What our poll found is that you could draw a straight line from that debate performance by Joe Biden to how the public is viewing him today, because only 6% of people in our poll who said that they watched the debate or heard about it thought that Joe Biden exceeded their expectations. That number was 46%.
If you thought that Joe Biden's debate performance exceeded... I can't even do this with a straight face, man. I can't even do it with a straight face. If you thought that Joe Biden's debate performance exceeded your expectations, my question is, first and foremost, are you actually a Biden supporter? Because what was your expectations? Anybody who thought that Biden's performance exceeded the expectations, you are a suspect Biden supporter. Oh man. Shout out to Jacob. Jacob 07017 says all black people should vote for Biden. He is the only hope for America. Well, if Biden is the only hope for America, it looks like you and people like you better be the ones voting for him.
For Trump.
Even though Trump expanded, voters still have concerns about him too.
We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success.
While a lot of the attention will be on Biden, when we asked voters which was a bigger concern, Trump's behavior or Biden's age, voters were about equally split on which was a bigger concern.
Biden and White House aides have been insistent that he will not drop out of the race, but they have a lot of Democrats to win over.
Trump, shout out to Rhonda, shout out to the 216. I don't even know what to say about this anymore. I don't even know what to say about this anymore. But I do know one thing. Jacob thinks that America's in trouble. I know you better get up off the couch and go vote for Biden then. I know you better get up off the couch and go vote for Biden then, so Biden can save white people. You know what I'm saying?
After the debate.
The Biden campaign and Joe Biden himself have acknowledged that it was a bad night for them, but their theory of the case of why they should stay in the race and their theory of the case of how Joe Biden can rebound is that the closer we get to Election Day, the more stark the choice will be between the policies of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, not simply their personalities or how they present. And so that's
the policies should always be the thing that people who are voting vote for anyway. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, the policies are what people should be voting for anyway, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and you think that there's something else that they should be voting for, then give me a thumbs down. I've always said policy over party. That's the most important thing. And those policies should be policies that are going to directly improve your standard of living, whether that's on a collective basis or on an individual basis. Now, according to this news report, they're going to break down the quote unquote exact moment that Biden lost the debate, which this video is 13 minutes long. I don't think it takes 13 minutes to say the exact moment that Biden lost the debate. I would go as far as to say that the moment Biden lost the debate was the moment he accepted it. Very simple, less than 13 minutes, right? It's a 13-second assessment, right? But okay. You know?
10 minutes for Joe Biden to lose last night's presidential debate against Donald Trump. 10 minutes for Trump to hit Biden so hard, people started to ask, is Biden done?
That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden.
I've never seen a politician at any level perform like Joe Biden performed.
Joe had the strangest, weirdest stare.
His answers were rambling and incoherent.
He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life.
There is a deep...
Look, he's getting roasted by his allies. This is a Biden BQ. This is a Biden BQ. He's getting roasted by his allies.
A wide and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party.
The question is, could it be that Democrats now have to reconsider?
Yes, Biden's big misstep would come about 9 minutes after he first opened his mouth. He was speaking aspirationally about his...
Oh man, this is about to be a fun stream. I think this stream about to end up extending out to like 11 hours because I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Smash the like button if y'all haven't smashed that like button. If you guys haven't shared the stream to your social media. Take a moment and share the stream to your social media.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living! I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken!
Plan to tax the ultra-rich, but this is how it came out.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look.
What's going on right here? What is seriously going on right here?
The with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look.
Literally.
Talentless, scandalous, plebiscite, babbling.
This is presidential plebiscite babbling at its finest.
Talentless, scandalous, plebiscite, babbling.
Oh my God.
Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look.
It wasn't.
Talentless, scandalous, plebiscite, babbling.
Oh, man.
Good. But it was what he said immediately after that turned what might otherwise have been a bit of a fumble into a fall. Even his own vice president couldn't deny what had happened.
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to debate that point.
And you'll hear from both.
Yeah. Shout out to Carlton. Biden graduated from FDMG Academy. Family to mine gone. Oh, man. Hey, man, we got Pastor John in the house. Pastor John said Trump will fix povert in America. I had a dream about it. I didn't know that povert. I don't know what povert is. I didn't know that it was broken. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what povert is, and I didn't know that it was broken. But if you think that Trump can fix it, Pastor John, well, then make that prayer magic work.
Republicans and Democrats, Biden's problems were just beginning. I'll show you why.
It was agony in Atlanta for Joe Biden, for Democrats, and frankly, for anyone around the world dreading another Donald Trump presidency, because the chances of another Trump presidency just increased.
You know, you didn't even actually have to get as far as 9 minutes in to start to feel that the night might not go Biden's way. Let's start with the walk.
Now, please welcome the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Two things to notice in that.
Hey, what did Biden just say? What did he say right here? Is there anybody that can decipher what he just said? Seriously, what did Biden just say? Oh, man.
Now, please welcome the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Two things to notice in that clip. One, Biden's gait.
Looked like he was going to barely make it to the podium.
He's 81 years old. He'll be 86 by the end of his second term, if he wins. Whether rightly or wrongly, the way he walks has become a sharp visual reminder of his age. And his campaign knows...
He's literally been walking... These are not new findings. It's amazing that now, all of a sudden, this stuff is the focus of national attention. None of this is new. This is what's so wild about this. Literally, none of this is new.
This because they've tried to overcome it.
And there he is, bounding onto the stage. Just a few weeks short of 78 years old, determined not to show it right now.
Now you know his knees was on fire. You know he used a whole bottle of icy hot afterwards. You know his knees were lit up after that.
And there he is, bounding
And
on
he
the
was
stage.
using all his. This is why he didn't really do too well in the debate, because he used all of his calories and concentration right here to stay upright and not trip and fall. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Could you imagine if Biden had a tripped and fell? And he's got a C-19 mask on. November 2020. The exaggerated run.
Just a few weeks short of 78 years old, determined not to show it right now.
Any hope that Biden would find a burst of energy, something that would dispel that visual of him growing stiffer with age, that evaporated the moment he appeared on camera. But the second thing to notice, Biden's voice.
Great to be with you. Thank you. We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me.
It was rough, it was raspy, it was weak.
We created 15,000 new jobs.
Literally, Joe Biden sounds like this all the time. Yeah, I gotta agree with Deneen. Oh man, shout out to Deneen. Deneen says this pretend revelation is maddening. Yeah, it's maddening. It's maddening because when we were saying this stuff earlier in the year, you know, the larger platforms and the think tanks and Democrat shill organizations were trying to drown us out. False concerns. This is just right-wing propaganda. Everybody's a Russian bot. What about now? What about now? And shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 35 people watching and we got 42 likes. If everybody could bang on that like button and try to get us to 70, that'd be wonderful.
We brought out in a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done.
Now, there are reports Biden was ill. He had a cold, which happens, but the timing was bad.
Joe Biden sounded hoarse.
A cold does not make you unable to communicate effectively. That is not a symptom of a cold. If you have any kind of issue that causes an immediate and acute change in your mental condition, stop what you're doing and call 911. That's not a normal cold. As many videos as people made giving their opinions about C-19, and that was deemed medical misinformation, and them talking about this, saying that these are the results of a cold, and this is not deemed as medical misinformation, it is damn near illegal, the level of propaganda that's going on right now. Show me a case study of anyone who's ever had a mind-altering cold. I'll wait.
Energy level appeared to be low, and at multiple points during the debate, he lost his train of thought.
On that point, Biden's train of thought, there were several moments early on where he didn't quite seem sure of his own facts and figures.
What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers.
1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires.
Billionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say.
To be fair, these are small stumbles, but their effect added up.
I'll be the first to admit that that was not a good look in that debate last night.
What does that guy, meaning Joe Biden, look like in 3 years in a negotiation with a world leader? I don't want to find out the answer to that question.
That's a legit concern. A totally legitimate concern. I literally said the same thing. What if that wasn't Trump on that stage? What if it was Xi Jinping? What if it was Kim Jong-un? What if it was Vladimir Putin?
Biden gave a very shaky performance. And I think the real danger for him is that this was a performance that reinforces concerns voters already had about him. We know the biggest thing voters worry about when it comes to the president is his age.
And it got worse.
There are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban.
Biden literally just right. Did y'all hear what Biden just said? Pay attention to what he's saying. Biden said that less people were getting across the border under him than under Trump. Is that true? If that's true, why was everybody freaking out about, what was that, Title 42 or something like that? Why were they freaking out about Title 42 expiring? Why are they freaking out about Title 42 expiring?
Worse.
There are 40% fewer people coming across the border legally. That's better than when he left office.
40% of people coming through the border legally. That's fewer than when he came in office. So a decrease in people coming over legally is a good thing. I thought the ideal people coming over was them coming over legally.
Is that this was a performance that reinforces concerns voters already had about him. We know the biggest thing voters worry about when it comes to the president is his age.
And it got worse.
There are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
The only thing that Trump is guilty of in this debate is elderly abuse, but it can't really be elderly abuse though, because Trump ain't that much younger than Biden. Like, but it's just interesting to watch how aging affects some people versus how it affects other people. Oh man.
Legally, that's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Hey, look, look, I got to put DeAndre's comment up there. And it was at that moment. and it was at that moment Biden knew that he had effed up.
Biden's problem, again and again, wasn't his inability to build momentum. It was his inability to keep it. I'll give you another example. A very sort of surreal moment during the debate where
Biden had two problems. Biden's first problem was that he accepted the debate. Biden's second problem was that he showed up to the debate. Those were Biden's two core issues.
The two candidates are literally talking about who's better at golf. The whole thing is silly, but watch how that exchange ends.
I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap. 8. But I had, you know how many?
Man, this is dumb. Man, this is dumb.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Again! So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
I'm the king of the world. You will bow down, bitches.
Oh, man. Shout out to AW1. Man, you can't make this up, man. Yeah. Facts. We got to... Cobra Commander, what you think about this debate?
Idiots! I'm surrounded by incompetent idiots! I've got morons on my team!
Oh, man, this is crazy, man.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Hey,
Let's
let's
not act like children.
Donald Trump didn't prepare nearly as much. He went to a rally, he did podcast interviews, and someone asked him, how are you preparing? He said, I'm preparing by taking questions from you, which is not traditional debate prep. Biden did not only do traditional debate prep, which is, you have a mock debate in a mock studio. He holed up with his advisors at Camp David for an entire week.
Even during Biden's closing statement,
Man, listen, Biden was out there popping champagne like he won the championship game. But when he started the debate, he talked like he ain't had no brain. Man, Biden was in there doing debate CrossFit and still lost. Biden is up there doing debate CrossFit. He's in the debate CrossFit camp, working out, doing that neuroplasticity game every single day. Got him playing 10 and 20 games of Sudoku and crossword puzzles, and he still couldn't get it together.
The moment where it's just you and America, no sparring, no improvising. All you have to do is leave the viewer with a lasting impression of hope and strength. But Biden struggled about 55 seconds in.
What I did, for example, he wants to get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug pricing with a big pharma.
Man, look, hold up.
Talentless, scandalous, plebiscite, babbling.
That's exactly what was going on.
I don't think you've changed a thing. Go on, jump.
No, I don't want to jump.
Yes, you do. You smoke crack, don't you?
Pharma companies.
But you know what really did Biden in? How we knew from almost the very start that Biden was outgunned. It wasn't the little slip-ups.
Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400.
It wasn't the fact that he repeatedly lost track of time.
We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden.
And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make childcare more affordable?
I made sure every company in the world, every
So dumb. You are really dumb, for real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
The first moment that set the stage for Joe Biden to fail. But this time, watch how Trump made the most of it.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
I think that was one of the absolute low points for the president in last night's debate. He lost his train.
Oh man,
thought he had an exceptionally long pause.
Biden couldn't get back to the road. He just failed to articulate the case for his own presidency, and it happened early in the debate when there's the largest viewership, and it's going to make history. It was a moment people will remember forever, as long as they remember these debates.
Now, for all of Biden's weakness, I don't want to leave you with the impression that Trump only showed strength.
I think he just showed that he is going to double and triple down on the same sort of rhetorical strategies that he's been using since he got into politics. Ignore the question, hit his talking points over and over again.
I know we didn't just watch what we saw, we watched, and they're sitting there saying that Trump is ignoring questions. I know that we're not just sitting here watching this debate and he's sitting here talking about Trump. ignoring questions. You can't make it make up. You now they got me talking like Biden. You can't make that up.
Simply Walter claim to be a king, but he lied about everything, don't mean a thing. Said he slept 1,000 women straight up lying. And when it comes to honesty, he's always trying. He posted from not spending the time on the ladies, but we all know he's just fronting like crazy. Said he's a music producer, but it's all fake. Just a mask he wears, and it's all a mistake. Simping Walter is where the lies, claiming things that he just never tries. What we see through is the science, plain to see. Simping Walter, you can't fool me.
Shout out to Fresh and Fit.
Confronted with an inconvenient fact to just lie or make something up.
Trump was so often either unable or unwilling to give straight answers on so many questions.
Shout out to James.
On the
What's good with it,
Israel-Hamas
bro?
war, he ranted about NATO. On climate change, he talked about policing. On the January 6th insurrection, he talked about everything but.
What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. On
Trump, wow, man. Trump is a wild dude. Trump is a wild dude.
January 6th, we were respected all over the world.
And I also don't want to leave you with the impression that Biden could do no right. It was a 90-minute debate. Biden did have powerful moments.
He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began. Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Never heard so much foolishness. The only person.
These are now, mind you, these are supposed to be Biden's. These are supposed to be Biden's strong moments. My question for you guys is: what is Biden doing here? Like, did any of what you just heard convince you that he might have actually competed in this debate?
On this stage is a convicted felon, is the man I'm looking at right now. Well, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
But most people, when they watch debates, I don't know if it's so much about who scores the most points. It might be more about who gives up the most points, especially in a race where the candidates are neck and neck in the polls, where both are so passionately disliked by so many people, and where each candidate's competence, their fitness to be president, was on trial.
Okay, well, the thing about Biden is that he's changed. And the thing about Trump is that he hasn't changed.
No, that's incorrect. Neither of them has changed. Neither of them has changed. Let me ask you guys this question. What's the difference between the Joe Biden at the debate and the Joe Biden that we've seen falling upstairs? The Joe Biden that we've seen falling off of a parked bike? What's the difference? Biden's performance is literally how I expected Biden to perform. If anybody had to ask me, how do you think Biden is going to do? Literally exactly what happened is how I would have answered. It's just going to be a bunch of incoherent babble. And Trump making wisecracks. I would have literally, and I probably, if you go back and watch enough of the past videos, I probably have actually said that.
And here's what I mean by both. Biden was incapable of articulating a case for himself. He struggled to connect.
If he can't articulate, now we got to ask this question. This is a legitimate question. If Biden is not capable, or he demonstrates that he lacks the capability of being able to articulate a case for himself, how can he possibly advocate coherently for all of America? How? These are logical, factual observations that lead to legitimate questions and concerns. Questions and concerns cannot be misinformation. Questions and concerns should be addressed. right? Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have not smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media.
Basic facts together. Struggled to make the elevator pitch for his presidency, which you think would be a relatively simple thing for an experienced politician to do.
He continually lost his train of thought, mumbling, bumbling, stumbling, fumbling, dazed and confused.
He did nothing to disabuse, I think, the country of the notion that he is very old and was lost frequently.
Trump, meanwhile, made wild claims. He lied. He exaggerated. He refused to say he'll accept the election result. In any normal time.
Okay, so let's address this and unpack this. Trump lied. He refused to address things. Literally, that's what politicians do. So if Trump effectively created a facade of appearing more cognizant by lying and deceiving, I would say that based on past politicians, that's showing his competency of being a quote-unquote politician, because we know that politicians are dishonest liars. So if Trump convinced people that he's more cognitive based on lying, then that literally shows that he has proven his competency to be in the long line of liars of politicians who have held office in the United States. Any way that you look at this, any way that you twist it and turn it, Biden comes out the loser. There is literally no way possible to make Biden have any benefit from this debate. It's impossible.
Under any normal circumstances, that would be the story today. But it's not the reaction people are having.
Right now, Democrats are torn. Did Biden just have a bad night, or is he a bad candidate? Did he lose the debate?
Okay, so let's ask this question. Let's again, we got to address this, and we got to address this based on facts. Did Biden have a bad night, or did Biden have a bad debate? Let's look at Biden's approval ratings. What would Biden's approval ratings tell you about every night he's been in the White House? Again, we're basing this off of numbers and data that have been collected. If we look at his approval ratings, what do his approval ratings tell you about every night that he's been in the White House? And look at these media outlets. None of these are Fox. All of these are left-leaning places. The Economist, NBC News, The Atlantic, Los Angeles Times.
Or has he lost his base?
I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes.
Oh. And she's not going to do something just for black people neither.
Did he lose the debate, or has he lost his base?
I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes.
Oh. You hear that? She's not going to sit there and spend the whole all night with him, sitting up there talking about the last 90 minutes.
You ain't black.
Hey, was Biden talking about Kamala Harris when he said this?
You ain't black.
When I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that?
His job was to calm his party, to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. He did not do that. He did the opposite of that.
I should say, it's not a given that any of this will be the deciding factor come election night. I mean, that's still more than 4 months away. And most Americans don't watch debates, but many swing voters do.
I love that guy. That's a good man.
Why are you gay?
What kind of shit is that?
Shout out to TD. I only been live for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TD. Make sure y'all show TD some love. Throw some flames, throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man TD for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Look at your boy Van Jones. This is a shout out to TD because he's dragged Van Jones mad times. Look at this. Van Jones says he loves this guy.
Don't watch debates, but many swing voters do.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Oh.
You ain't black.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
And some are always trying to fall upstairs. You know what I'm saying?
As a good man, he loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now.
Biden is not going anywhere if Biden doesn't want to go there. This is somebody who has been running for president off and on since 1983. And I don't know that he would be willing to walk away from the presidency after one term.
One thing watching American politics the last few years has taught me is to never.
Isn't that the criticism that everybody has of Trump, that Trump wasn't willing to walk away from the presidency? So Trump has the January 6th issues, and Biden has the need for a guardianship issue. Okay.
Never declare anything impossible because anything can happen.
And if Democrats do decide to pressure their leader to step down in favor of someone who will give them more of a fighting chance against Donald Trump, time is running out. And their greatest concern, that even when Biden wasn't stumbling, he was ineffective. And that Trump, by comparison, has never looked stronger.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but like when you're standing next to like a flimsy weakling, you know, it's not really hard to look strong. Yeah, which is, again, when Biden agreed to go to that debate, that's where he was losing. That's where he was losing. So we have some more stuff on that we will talk about later. But even the Democrat support for Biden is it's gone. It's completely eroded. His own party has turned on him, which they should have turned on him a long time ago. Somebody should have actually convinced him and been a good friend. Like, hey, it's time to hang it up. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They let him hang himself out to dry. You know what I'm saying? So, quote unquote, right wingers, right, which is a dog whistle, right? Right wingers is a dog whistle for anybody who has negative critiques of Joe Biden at this point. They just call you a right winger. Somebody listen to my channel. Oh, he's a right winger. I'm not a right winger. But in 2024, anybody who gives any honest critique of the shortcomings, the vast amount of shortcomings of Joe Biden, you're automatically deemed a right winger. Okay? This is an article from June 26th of 2024. Look who it's from, MSNBC. A new report released Tuesday highlights how the quote-unquote far right is spreading misinformation to Black voters through popular influencers, social media, and podcasts. Thank goodness I'm not a popular influencer. Over the past few years on the Ride Out blog, I've written extensively about how popular, ostensibly Black news outlets, influencers, and hip-hop podcasters have been used to spread far-right propaganda and misinformation or undermine civic engagement. Now, what is the misinformation that's allegedly being spread? That's my question for you guys. What is the alleged misinformation that's being spread? It's amazing how these people, they don't even have to tell us what the misinformation is. They just our channels, things that we say are misinformation. This report is easily the most thorough examination I've seen into how false and manipulative claims make their way from bad actors to black folks. I clicked on it so fast that I almost hammered a hole in my desk. The report's analysis from the organization Onyx Impact can be found here. Okay, we're going to go over this report. All right. Now, how many people? Phil Scott did a video about this report. How many people saw or heard about this report? This report was done by an organization, not by a government organization, but a private interest organization who is run by a woman who has ties to Stacey Abrams and used to work as a portfolio manager for BlackRock. Now, let me ask you this question. Does that seem like it's objective? I don't have ties to anybody. I'm not a registered Democrat. I'm not a registered Republican. I've never been a part of anybody's campaign. The only funding that I get is from my subscribers and AdSense. This woman who runs the Onyx Impact organization was a fundraiser for Stacey Abrams. What makes this report factual? We're going to take a deep dive into this report as soon as I get a chance. But if you guys want to see a live stream or see some information about it, like I said, on Phil Scott's channel, on the African Diaspora News channel, he did a live stream about it where he read the report. It's 11 pages long. The report highlights how extremists and other misinformation peddlers use outlets and influencers popular among black folks to spread far-right claims and indoctrinate audiences with a conservative worldview. I will show everybody my tax returns. I will show everybody my bank account. I want anybody to show me anywhere where I've gotten any type of incentive from any conservative or conservative organization to quote unquote peddle misinformation. Now, will Onyx show who donates to them? Will Onyx show who their shareholders are? I have literally no problem completely exposing all of my funding sources if anyone is interested. Anybody that wishes to look up my voting record, I don't have one. I'm a registered voter that has not voted. No tangibles, no vote is not something new for me. None of these people who are trying to deem everybody's content as misinformation can say those things. Okay? The report highlights how extremists and other misinformation peddlers use outlets and influencers popular among black folks to spread quote unquote far-right claims and indoctrinate audiences with a conservative worldview. It lists quote unquote several gateway influencers and platforms, media entities that are popular among black folks and have been targeted by extremists. Who are these extremists that have targeted? And literally, literally no one has ever come to me and said, do this content and we'll pay you. Anybody that can produce any type of communication between me and a conservative operative offering me an incentive to talk about certain talking points or content, please bring it forward. Post a receipt. Make a video. Show the receipts. I invite anyone to do that. Gateway influencers and platforms, media entities that are popular among Black folks and have been targeted by extremists that have promoted misleading or bigoted views. That list mentions the online tabloid site, The Shade Room, the syndicated radio show, The Breakfast Club, the influencer 19 Keys, the Joe Budden podcast, Stephen A. Smith show, and the podcast Earn Your Leisure. I don't watch any of these people, just so in case anybody was curious. That's not saying that they're good or bad content creators. I just don't watch those people. You know what I'm saying? They don't influence anything that I talk about. I don't watch those people. You know what I'm saying? None of the aforementioned platforms responded to NBC News' request for comment. The report notes that some of these outlets' large audiences could make them very useful in dispelling false and misleading claims, but it also highlights how some of these entities have already platformed right-wingers, extremist right-wingers. It also talks about some other concepts we've discussed on here on the blog, including efforts to promote anti-immigrant sentiment within the Black community, a Trumpian strategy that we're seeing unfold today. Hence the reason why the bot troll process of the fake outrage of the Black Jobs comment was popularized on social media. Okay? That's why that was done. Okay? And it talks about how artificial intelligence tools will likely exacerbate the spread of targeted disinformation without measures to combat it. But it's not all doom and gloom. The report includes suggestions on how to combat the spread of disinformation through Black influencers and outlets. In our increasingly fragmented media landscape, this is essential reading for anyone wanting to understand how to fight back against far-right manipulation. You know what? This article had everything in it except for these alleged misinformation talking points. Isn't that interesting? This had literally everything in it except for the talking points that are allegedly misinformation. How convenient. That's really helpful. So I want you guys to pay very close attention. The whole idea of the quote unquote anti-immigrant sentiment talking point. This is why I tell people be very careful with how they go about the quote unquote diaspora war, the misandry. The reason why I say be careful on how people position the whole FBA B1 thing parallel to the manosphere. These think tanks and organizations are literally trying to get people caught up and create false hysteria. So again, my challenge to any of these organizations that say us independent media news outlets, New Black Media, people like Tim Black who are Democrats but tell the truth about Democrats, I challenge you all to react to our content and point out the mis or disinformation. They won't do it. And the reason why they won't do it is because there's not any mis or disinformation. Here's the disinformation right here. The non-existent concept of a Black job. This is actually misinformation. This here is actual misinformation. And this is a reason why the fake Black jobs outrage has to be a series. Wait, what exactly is a Black job? Workers respond to Trump's anti-immigrant debate comment. Which is it? Is the comment anti-black or is it anti-immigrant? Are black people outraged because the comment was quote unquote anti-immigrant? I'm confused. What somebody help me out about what we're supposed to be outraged about. I need outrage guidance. Somebody help me. Is there anybody available for outrage guidance? Yes, you heard that right. You know what I didn't hear right? Anything that Joe Biden tried to say during that debate. Former President Donald Trump raised eyebrows at Thursday night's debate for suggesting without evidence, which is not true because there's plenty of evidence and we're going to read through all of it. There's actually a report from the United States government that substantiates this. But according to them, there's no evidence that migrants crossing the U.S. border were taking quote unquote black jobs. Okay. President Joe Biden was asked what he would say to black voters who feel disappointed by the lack of progress his administration has made on issues like earning gaps, maternal mortality, and incarceration rates for black Americans. Well, what he needs to do as far as the incarceration rate for black Americans thing is address the 94 crime bill. How many people would like to hear Joe Biden have a sit down and address the 94 crime bill and why he thought that that was a good idea and if he thinks that it affected anybody alive today, since the question of anybody alive today always seems to be the go-to for any topic that anybody questions? When is the last time anybody heard Joe Biden address the 94 crime bill? Has anybody ever heard him address it? And if he did address it, what did he say about it? What Biden say about the 94 crime bill? Biden pointed to the number of black-owned small businesses started during his term and his administration's efforts to reduce child care costs. How does that help black people that don't have children? In response, Trump said that Biden's big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come through the border. Now, here's my question. Is that a true statement or is that a false statement? Is that a true statement or is that a false statement? Yeah. Shout out to Deneen. Joe Biden said that he did not regret the 94 crime bill. Now, is that mis or disinformation? And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. It might even be, shout out to SD Johnson, it might even be more than that. It might even be more than that. They're taking black jobs now, he added. It could be 18, it could be 19, it could be even 20 people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs. And you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history. Didn't Joe Biden say if the racial wealth gap doesn't close, we're going to be in big trouble? Didn't Joe Biden say that at some point? Now, let me ask you guys this. Does illegal immigration help the racial wealth gap close, or does that keep it widening and accelerating? Right. Shout out to DeAndre. Well, earlier we went over why so many black-owned businesses opened under Biden, because black people need extra income to afford anything under Joe's Bidenomics. Facts. Super facts. And we're going to finish that article tomorrow. The remark led to questions, criticism, and plenty of online jokes regarding what exactly the former president meant by black jobs. I don't understand why anybody would be confused by that. The NAACP posted during the debate, what exactly are Black and Hispanic jobs? Well, that right there tells you that the NAACP hasn't done its job then, because they're supposed to be the national advancement. Was that the National Association for Advancement of Color? Haven't advanced anybody into any jobs that a Black person is taking up. It makes sense why they don't know what a Black job is, because when is the last time the NAACP has helped a Black person do anything? Last time the NAACP made a lot of noise, it was them advocating against reparations in California. Ha! Shout out to SD Johnson. SD Johnson said it widened more than Daisy.
Again!
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Political officials chimed in as well. Just me at my Black job in the morning. Jamie Harrison, chair of the Democratic National Committee, posted on X. Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention. All of these Democratic candidates and Democratic people and Democratic shills and trolls on Twitter, the fact that they're making fun of this issue, this literally should be an indication that these people do not have your interest in mind. If Black jobs being eliminated as a result of depressed wages from competition from illegal immigrants, if that's a laughing matter, can you expect them to want to fix any other issues? Past and present behavior are the best indicators of future behavior. So if they're not concerned about negative effects on your jobs, wages, or employability, what can we count on them to care about or advocate for? The guy that's the known most anti-Black should not be the guy that mentioned that. The Democrats and Democrat operatives should be embarrassed. But in order to be embarrassed, you have to be shame. You have to have shame. They're shameless people. So we can't expect that. Representative Benny Thompson, a Mississippi Democrat, said in a post on X that the use of Black jobs by Donald Trump is highly concerning. I would say the use of Black jobs by Elon Musk is highly concerning, because his companies can't stop getting discrimination lawsuits placed against them. But okay. Yeah, facts. Shout out to DeAndre. They're really joking about Black people losing their jobs. Yeah, and basically saying, I have one that I go to in the morning. To the people allowing and encouraging people to come here illegally. Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Employment should be based on skill and merit, not on racial labels, he said. Damn, he sounds like somebody that has a problem with affirmative action. Are we talking about Democrats here? Let's focus on creating equal opportunities for all Americans without using divisive language. What party is this person from? Because this definitely sounds like a conservative talking right here. Employment should be based on skills and merit, not racial labels. Well, it should be. But what's interesting about this is this isn't usually the language that you hear a Democrat say. So when somebody says something and actually addresses an actual issue facing Black jobs, Democrats start sounding conservative, but they're calling us right-wing operatives. Yeah, shout out to Deneen. I actually saw Yvette Carnell's stream about this. Somebody posted it in the Discord, and she was absolutely on point with her stream about this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was a really good stream. Black workers make up about 13% of the U.S. labor force. It's interesting. How is it that we make up 13% in every single category? 13% of the population, 13% of the U.S. labor force. Is 100% of the United States working? How do we make up 13% of the population and 13% of the labor force? We make up 13% of the U.S. labor force, but not 55% of the wealth. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the overall U.S. population is about 14%. So if only 1% of us don't make up part of the labor force, why are white people and everybody else calling us lazy? 13%. Black workers make up about 13% of the U.S. labor force. We're only 14% of the population. Yet we're called lazy and they say that we don't work. Statistics. Right? Statistics. Well, here goes some statistics. The unemployment rate among Black Americans is consistently well above that of white workers. That gap is driven by structural factors, including, well, here, okay, wait a minute. What's a white worker? What's a white worker? Where that white dude at that was in the chat? When you go to work, are you going to your white job in the morning? Do you guys see how like there's only a certain group of people that they target and come at with nonsense? That gap is driven by structural factors, including racial discrimination, obstacles, educational attainment, and mass incarceration that disproportionately impacts Black households. And again, where did this mass incarceration come from? Didn't the mass incarcerations come from Biden policies? If the mass incarceration largely came from Biden policies, give me a thumbs up. If it didn't, then give me a thumbs down and let me know where it came from. Biden has touted his record on improving unemployment rates for Black workers. Trump did the same during his presidency, but it was during Biden's administration that the unemployment rate among Black workers hit an all-time low. Comments like Trump's that pit one marginalized group against another, in this case, Black Americans and undocumented immigrants, are designed to stoke fear. What about Project 2025 propaganda? Is that designed to stoke fear? And what about these marginalized groups that come over with ingrained cultural anti-Black racism? What is that designed for? While Vivek Ramaswamy is sitting there saying that American people who have been here generations should have to take a civics test to remain American citizens, I actually believe for our protection and safety, Americans should learn the cultural histories and tendencies of the top 5 groups of immigrants that come over here in order to educate ourselves about our new neighbors and keep ourselves safe. Citizenship included. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Nothing like thinking that you have a Black and brown coalition until you go on a vacation for Mexico and look on a map and see a city called Matamoros, and then you look up what that means, and then you see Ryan Garcia on an insane rant. Nothing like knowing where a lot of the Confederates went after the Civil War. Nothing like knowing what the Americana celebration in Brazil is. Nothing like reading up on Operation Paperclip and seeing where a bunch of those people went that the United States helped to get there. If you're undocumented and in the United States, is that a criminal offense? If that's a criminal offense, then give me a thumbs up. If it's not a criminal offense, then give me a thumbs down. Said the economist Derek Hamilton, founding director of the Institute on Race, Power, and Political Economy at the new school. His policies are dramatically framed in a fascist notion of relative status, whether he's looking at Black Americans versus white Americans or trying to message to Black Americans, Hamilton said in a post-debate interview with the independent news program Democracy Now! He presents a zero-sum scarcity framework, a threat of another group coming and taking your jobs, as opposed to an economy that flourishes where there's plenty. Do we have an economy that flourishes where there's plenty? They can't even get all of the undocumented people that are here jobs. They can't even get all the undocumented people that are here jobs. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, the Senate's only Black Republican, oh Lord, evaded a question Thursday night on what exactly Trump might have meant by the phrase black jobs. We know what Trump meant by the phrase black jobs. What he meant by the phrase black jobs is the type of jobs that Black people are disproportionately represented in, which is low skill, low wage. That's what he meant. Those are the jobs that those particular Black people are in competition with illegal migrants with. We know that. And we're going to prove that in future streams. Okay? I don't think that offends some American voters, Scott said in an interview during NBC's post-debate coverage. Here's what I can tell you, is that whether you are a Black person or a white person or a Hispanic person or any person, Native American, one thing you want are more jobs. On X, some users criticized former president for implying Black jobs were synonymous with low-wage work. They are. And said Trump's comments belied a prejudiced view of Black people. No, it doesn't. That particular comment that he made did not do that. That particular comment was made based on fact. Black people are represented, Black males specifically, represented in low-wage, low-skill jobs. That's just what it is. That's just the reality of things. Why is it that the Democrats don't want to talk about the statistics on who's working what jobs? You know, all of those DEI education positions and all of the anti-racism training that they do at the jobs that's supposed to help corporate America be quote unquote less racist. How many Black people teach those positions or are the diversity coordinators and all of that stuff? How many Black people are the coordinators of any of that stuff? Those positions and jobs aren't even overwhelmingly filled by Black people. You go to a corporation in America somewhere and they'll have somebody that looks like Vivek Ramaswamy sitting there telling you about the civil rights era that your grandparents fought and died for. Like, this is ridiculous. The share of Black workers in high-wage sectors like information, finance, and professional services increased from 2019 to 2023, according to recent research from the Council of Economic Advisors. And nobody's saying that that's not true. However, what is true is that Black people make up a large sector of low-wage, low-skilled jobs. So them saying that these positions and professions have increased, that still doesn't say anything about who makes up the majority of the low-wage, low-skill employees. So my question for you guys is, why do they feel that they need to shield everyone from the facts? Meanwhile, the share of Black employees in lower wage industries like leisure and hospitality and wholesale retail trade decreased during that period, according to the analysis. Okay, it doesn't matter if it increased or not. Who makes up the majority? The Trump campaign did not respond immediately to requests for comment. These black jobs jokes are funny, but they take away from the seriousness of what Orange Man's blatant racism towards us. One ex-user, he thinks low of us as human beings. which is probably true. However, in that instance, he was telling the truth. And Biden thinks low of us as well. Biden thinks so low of us that he didn't want his children going to school with your children because it would be looked at as a what? Integrated racial zoo or something like that. Isn't that what he said? So again, we've gone through this article, right? Where's the mis and disinformation? Where's the mis and disinformation? The saga will continue and we will examine more because, like I said, when it comes to this quote unquote black job topic, this is going to be an ongoing thing until we exhaust every piece of factual information, and then we will make determinations. But until then, we got to ask black jobs. Trump is begging for DEI by using critical race theory to warn of migrant impacts. And we saw it in the debate. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have not hit that like button, hit it. If you guys have not shared the stream, take a moment to share it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment and do that. I want to shout out the Soul Stream sponsor. Shout out to my man TD Media Group. Make sure you guys show TD Media Group some love. If you're not a part of the Discord, make sure that you join the Discord. If this stream gets yellow $signed, you will not be able to find it for the replay unless you are a member. If you want to watch it and you're not a member, follow me on Twitter at base, B-A-S-E, reality number 2, base reality 2 on Twitter, or follow me on Rumble at Blacklight Revelations. All right. Or become a member on the channel for 99 cents. Join the Discord so that you don't miss any notifications. Hit that link and we will be coming with part 3 of this series tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed, because I definitely enjoyed you guys. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on toga. Demons say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee, that's on TV, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that fake. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him, hold up.